Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me Kagem. Okay, so I wanted to update you guys on a lot of Chanel stuff that's been going on since I have been on my European travels. I have seen Chanel Honey and her wig, but I've not had time to film proper videos about it because I've been super busy traveling. But now I'm back home. Let's get straight into it. There's so much happening in the Chanel universe. Let's start off with the first piece of Chanel news, which is there will be a European price increase, honey, on the 2nd of March. And it will allegedly be something like, I think they said something like 10 to 15% across the board, and I believe this is everything except maybe fine jewelry, but I have to double check. But it's definitely the fashion products will be going up like 10 to 15%, and like I said, it will be in Europe. Normally, what I have found to be true with Chanel is that if they do a euro price increase, like the whole Eurozone, so France, Germany, Italy, Spain, etc., they tend to then increase in other European countries that are not part of the currency, that are not part of the euro currency. So obviously the UK and Switzerland are not part of the EU and they have their own currencies. But generally speaking, what I found to be true is that they will increase in the United Kingdom, in Switzerland, in Denmark, Sweden, etc., if they increase in France and Germany in euros. So I hope you've understood what I'm saying. So basically, if there's a euro increase, there will be a pound increase, a Swiss franc increase, a Danish krona increase, and a Swedish krona increase, and all the rest of it. So that is happening on the 2nd of March. So if you want anything, you should probably go now. If you want like a classic flap in a classic color, or you want the Chanel 19, the Coco handles, although the Coco handles in season right now. I have to double check if they're in season because the Coco handle and the trendy don't share the same seasons at Big C. Big C is busy. When I was in Paris, I was so focused on shopping at Big H and trying to get a leather appointment at Big H, but I was still keeping tabs on Big C, honey, and her wig, and it was busy everywhere. Printemps, Galeries Lafayette, Avenue Montaigne, the Cambon boutiques. It's rammed and people are queuing everywhere. So I don't know why. Like whenever I log onto YouTube, all I see are people moaning about Chanel. Chanel's done. I'm never buying a Chanel bag again. I'm never buying anything from Chanel again. Chanel's a ripoff. Chanel's horrible quality. Why are the stores in Paris rammed if Big C is getting dragged on the internet? I just feel like online, it's just like 1% of Chanel customers. I think this is why Chanel does not care. Like Chanel could care less, basically, what people have to say about her and what she's up to, because the stores are full, the stores are rammed, at least in Paris. I don't know about your local store, what's going on there. Obviously, there are going to be variables depending on where you're based in the world. But the Parisian boutiques, baby, in her hometown, in her home city, Chanel is running things alongside Louis Vuitton and Hermes and Dior. Like the 4 Parisian girls are running things, okay? Because all of their boutiques are rammed, all of their boutiques are full of people shopping. So 2nd of March, 10 to 15% in euros, and I would assume other currencies within Europe. So like I said, pound sterling, Swiss franc, and the Nordic currencies as well. So I wanted to let you guys know about that. The second thing I wanted to let you know about is the launch for the US for 23S. So right now, we're in the season of 23P, which is the part 1 of spring summer. P stands for printemps, which is French for spring. 23S is part 2, so it's the second part of spring summer 2023, and that is going to be launching on the 14th of March in the US. I got a question from one of you because I posted this, I believe, on my Instagram and also on Facebook, and you were like, okay, like, what about the rest of the world? When is it going to launch in Asia? When is it going to launch in Australia? When is it going to launch in Europe? I don't know exactly when it's launching in Australia, in different Asian countries, and in Europe. But generally speaking, what I have found to be true is if it launches in America on a certain date, it means it's either launching in Paris, in France, on that same day or the day before. Obviously, Chanel's a French brand. They're never really going to launch like their products in America before they launch them at home, home turf and all the rest of it. So if it's definitely launching in America on the 14th of March, I would assume that date will be Gucci for the French launch, if not the same day or maybe the day before, maybe the day after, something like that. So it'll be the 14th of March basically for for America. If you're in Paris at the moment, or you're in Germany or another EU country, it'll be around about that time. Obviously, it will have the new prices for the Chanel 19, the classics, obviously, the boy bag, you know, the Coco handle, the trendy, again, depending on which one is in season for 23S, because I need to double check which one is in season. I'm pretty sure that the bag that's in season for 23S this time is the trendy, but I have to double check because there's so much going on with Chanel at the moment. So I just want to get you all up to speed. So I really hope that you like the Chanel videos. Do you like my Chanel videos? If you do, drop comments below so I know that there's Chanel people still around who love the brand. I love the brand. I can't get into the store because it's full of people queuing. So I was thinking about this, and I was telling my husband, because he had asked me like, oh, did you go to Chanel this time when you were in Paris and Berlin? I was like, literally couldn't even get in, and I was trying so hard to get a big H leather appointment, and he's like, you can't serve, you know, like that proverb, like you can't serve two masters at once or whatever. Like it's kind of like that. I think if you like Big H and you like Big C, I like both of them. I think they're both wonderful. They're both brilliant. You know, I'm not part of the anti-Chanel brigade. I love Chanel. I don't care what anyone says. It's so hard because you have to dedicate time to getting a leather appointment at Hermes in Paris. But at the same time, you want to go to all of the Chanels, and then you get to Chanel, regardless of where it is, Avenue Montaigne, the Cambon boutiques, and the, you know, the concessions in Printemps or Galeries Lafayette. You get there, and there are massive queues of people queuing, waiting to get in. And I just had a weekend, so I just did not have the time to dedicate. But this time around, when I go back in April, May, I will absolutely have many days in Paris. This time around, I'll have way more time. And I think, I don't know, I mean, we were talking about it the other day, like how long we're going for. We're definitely going to go for at least minimum 6-7 days. So I'm going to have way more time in Paris this time around. So I will definitely sort myself out and get myself physically inside a Chanel boutique and queue and just get it over with. I heard that the queues at the Avenue Montaigne store are legendarily long. You can wait for hours before you see an essay. So hopefully, maybe if we stay at a really nice hotel, I'll ask the concierge to get me an appointment, because I can't get an appointment now because I don't have a visa yet. My previous visa that I used to enter France and Germany this time around is already finished. So then now I have to get another visa. But you can't apply for the appointment until you get the visa. And then when you get the visa, you might not have any time on the online website where you ask for the appointment to get an appointment and the time that you're there. It's so stressful shopping from these brands. I feel like it feels so intense. It doesn't feel like luxury anymore. I always have seen these brands as like a hobby. They're just like a fun hobby to me, and I find them fun. And because my job is really intense and very stressful. I have a very stressful, demanding job. So I love this luxury stuff as a hobby. But now it's so stressful to shop from these brands anyway. It's so intense, it's so stressful. People are competing, people are looking for ways to get appointments at Chanel, people are queuing for hours and hours and hours. Whenever I read the dragging reviews, and by the way, I have a Chanel dragging video coming soon, people are always like, oh, I got here, I had to queue for 2 hours inside Avenue Montaigne before I saw an essay. Imagine if you've been to the Avenue Montaigne, you know what I'm talking about, but imagine going to Avenue Montaigne with your husband or your boyfriend, entering Chanel, honey, and Big C tells you, you need to wait for 2 hours. Your man is gonna look at you like you're mad, have you lost your mind? So next trip, I will get myself physically into a Chanel store. I was telling my husband about the legendary queues, and he was just like, because I was telling him at Cambon, a lot of people queue 30 minutes, 40 minutes, even an hour before Cambon opens, 31 Cambon. And he's like, oh, hang on, queue an hour or 40 minutes before Cambon opens to enter a shop. I can't. So I will sort myself out for my summer trip, which will be in April/May. So make sure you stick around because we have a lot to get through. Just before I go, because this is a quick, short and sweet video, I wanted to show you this beauty right here. This is a Chanel troll of the highest order. I've never seen Chanel troll on this level. Remember how I told you those little tiny SLGs are what we call troll items and troll pieces on this channel. This is a troll classic, honey. This is a sequined classic flap that is coming for 23S. Guess how much it is, boo-boo. Yes, that's right. It's 27,000 euros. I remember I think it was a year ago, And I want to give credit to the people who came up with this theory because I think this theory is true. There were some people on Instagram, I think they were Chanel VIPs, and they were saying how Chanel, like basically when Chanel discontinued their exotic leathers, they left this huge gap in their sort of like lineup of handbags. Because obviously exotic leathers, like they deserve that price point because it's an exotic leather, right? And there is a degree of artisanship, well, artistry, I beg your pardon, and craftsmanship that does go into exotics. Like Celine makes exotics in their haute maroquinerie, and they're handmade from start to finish. Obviously Big H, we know that. Obviously Big Gucci. When I was at Dior, and I'll tell you about that in my Dior video, the Dior essay said all of Dior's exotics are handmade by Dior artisans, but their leather bags, like the standard ones, it's a mixture of hand finishing and machine work. Okay, so you can really see the difference, and you can with exotic pieces because you can really tell that someone physically took that leather and stitched that bag together. When the VIPs on Instagram were saying, when Chanel discontinued exotics, they left this huge financial hole in their lineup of bags. And then we did see the increase of them trolling because they don't have exotic leathers. There were people who were buying them. Chanel's exotics were so beautiful. They're still to this day some of the most beautiful exotic leather pieces that have ever been seen on the market. But obviously they left that market now. And they're now creating trolls to fill that market. And this is what the VIPs on Instagram were saying. That's why we're seeing all these really expensive seasonal bags, which are like, you know, embellished, okay, fine, but they're not leather, they're not like leather. Sometimes they're satin, sometimes they're made of glass, sometimes they'll tarnish. I remember, I don't think I can find a picture now, but I remember there was this really beautiful metal bag. It's metal, it's not even like 24K gold or 21K gold or whatever. And it was like metal. I think it was from last year. It was like an evening bag and it had holes in it. I don't know if I can find the picture. And I swear the large version of that bag was £15,000. This is a metal brass. It is going to oxidize, it's going to rust. It's going to look a raggedy hot mess. So remember how I always used to tell you guys that Big C essentially uses these bags and sees them as like toys for their clients. They are seen as toys, and I've always said that. I've said that for ages, that Big C's bags are toys. I think that we're continuing to see that with the release of this sequin bag. It's absolutely stunning, absolutely beautiful. There's no question that obviously there is a degree of like hand finishing that has gone into this piece because the embellishments look super intense. Is it worth 27,000 euros? You be the one to decide in the comments. For reference, Big H's Mini Kelly, I believe in Alligator, I think in Shiny Croc is 26,600 euro in Europe. And if I recall correctly, like Dior's Alligator pieces start at like 15,000 going up, and then Louis Vuitton's Capucine Croc pieces, the mini, is 17,500 euro. I think the Capucine BB in the Himalayan at Louis Vuitton, they call it Sahara, is 30,500, and that is a BB. I remember because I tried it on in Paris last year. It's very heavy as well. So, and those are exotic leather bags. They're all handmade. Louis Vuitton's exotics are all handmade. Dior's exotics are all handmade. Of course, Big H's exotics are all handmade. I'm pretty sure Gucci and Fendi's are all handmade as well. Boo-boo. Okay. And honestly, I actually really like fabric bags. I don't really mind the pricing of fabric bags. I was blown away at this one because normally the way fabric bags are priced doesn't really bother me because I think fabric is nice. Not everyone, first of all, not everyone likes animal leather, and that's fine. So it's cool for people who don't like animal leather, they can have an option. But also, even for those of us who do like all kinds of leathers, it's nice sometimes to have fabric options. I was just blown away at 27,000 euros, girl. I was like, Chanel, what? Like, girl, oh my god. But I love Chanel either way. I think Chanel's just so much fun. I just can't enter the store because the queues are always out of control. Let's see what happens when I go to America. I'll see what the queues are like at the Chanel's in the US, but the Chanel's in Paris are rammed with people. Tell me what you think about this format of videos that are short and sweet and we just get straight to the point. I'd love to know if you like this format. If you love Chanel, I'd love to see you in my Facebook group. I feel like I love Chanel as well, and I love posting about all the things that Chanel is up to, and I'm always posting about Chanel in the group, like posting new pictures and new releases and stuff. I'd love to see you there if you love Chanel. And also go join my email newsletter, it's linked below as well. I'd love to see you there. And yeah, just go follow me on all of my socials. I'm very active on Instagram at the moment because Milan Fashion Week was going on and I was posting so much about it. Milan was crazy. Like, if I'm big H, honey, if I'm big C, if I'm big LV, I'm triggered. And even Dior, boo boo, I know they're worried because Milan Fashion Week was amazing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon in my next video.